Hello there, I am Liz. I am a artist who's been real life human arting for a pretty long time. Probably as long as I've been alive at this point. And I am a VTuber who has not been VTubing for that very much long of a time. But here we are anyways. Why are we here? You already know the answer. I already know the answer. AI. It's no secret that we've entered a new era in the art community. The era of uncertainty, if you will. It's an Elden Ring reference because I'm very gamer. AI-generated images are starting to overrun the art sphere, and it's very disheartening. Disheartening. Not just for established artists who are now seeing their art being stolen by AI algorithms, but also for new beginner artists who are asking themselves, why would I even try and learn if it can just be done in a few seconds? But luckily, the art community is not going down without a fight. I've never seen something unite so many people within the art community as much as the hatred for AI images has. And I'm just glad that we can all collectively come together and say that, no, we're not okay with this happening. We don't want art being stolen. We've never wanted this. It's exactly what we need as artists, as community members, to come together and stand up for each other. Which is exactly what we're doing here today. We're gonna do a little haha in the face of AI images and redesign some AI-generated characters. So, let's get right to it. I first had to choose which AI character I'd be redesigning. I of course went to Pinterest, the epicenter of AI images at the moment, and ended up going with this witch gal who has a very cottagecore aesthetic, lots of flowers. I started off with some super quick sketches. For this one, I did the initial sketches in Procreate, so sadly you won't get to see those. The art I've been making recently has been VTuber model based. Which, if you like my VTuber here, go watch my previous video where I made it myself. Self-advertisement. But this has led to my current art being very stiff. I've been using the symmetry tool a lot, so there's just not a lot of movement in what I've been drawing recently. Here, I wanted to loosen up not only my hand, but also my brain. I focused on expressive lines and movement in my sketch. I'm a pretty fast sketcher, so I tend to sketch something multiple times. It's almost like I'm layering sketches on top of sketches until I get the exact base I want. For this gal's design, I wasn't thinking the way I do when I design VTubers. I was actually more designing her to look good while in a dynamic pose. For example, I took away the big poofy sleeves from the AI version and replaced them with simple gloves, because the sleeves would cover up too much of her dress/hair while posed. They also made the clothing design just too big and covered up just too much of everything else, leaving not much room for negative space while posing her. This isn't something I'd consider while making a character for the purpose of being a VTuber model. But here, this was the biggest motivator. I also shortened her hair because I was giving her very stylized curls. I originally was intending for it to be more of an afro, but I don't think I made the curls dense enough to embody an afro. And with curly hair like this, I find short to mid-length hair very fun to shape and add movement to. You'll probably start to notice all the elements are following the same sweeping motion, which is intentional. The hair, dress, and legs all follow the same curved line. When I make a movement-based pose like this, I always add a line of action, not only to the character's body itself, but to everything. The clothes, the hair, the legs, the arms. Ultimately, you want everything to lead back to the face, which I'm not sure I actually succeeded in doing, but I definitely succeeded in adding interesting movement, if I do say so myself. Of course, feel free to comment if you think I didn't succeed on that. I feel it's important to talk about my process here because what I'm doing is thinking, testing out theories, and applying knowledge from my years of experience, which are all things humans do when they make art. and things AI can never do. All AI can do is copy decisions made by previous artists. But it can never actually apply the knowledge the way an actual artist does, which is one of the many ways artists just win over AI-generated images. Basically, AI is trying to copy the soul of someone, which is impossible. You just can't do it. Back to the art piece. For the shading, I used a technique I recently saw my friend using, where they added an underlayer of color and added on top of that. Specifically, I used an oil brush that would take into account the color under and around the brush. I then did very simple shading with a multiply layer for shadows and an add layer for light. I also found this texture brush that looks like multiple lines parallel to each other, and I really liked adding this randomly to the shading for added texture. I do go back off screen and darken her hair/skin and the blacks of her clothing. The only issue with this shading technique was I found it harder to get darker colors. But with this, the first redesign/redraw was done. And here she is, our witch cottagecore girl in all of her glory. I really enjoy how she turned out, and I found the shading technique really fun, so I think I'll try it again in the future. But it's time to get on to our next redesign. Once again, it was time to choose a new AI character to redesign. I ended up going with this concoctions of images here, purely because I like the colors and I'm a nerd who loves dragons. With this redesign, I went completely off script. I didn't love the style of this character's outfit, so I knew right away I was going to change a lot. I've been watching a lot of thrifting videos recently, and in the vintage world, Y2K is in. So I was inspired by that to put this girl in a Y2K look. For the pose, I wanted her to look sassy. I really liked the idea of a really long dragon tail, but I knew I'd have to make it very stylized and put it in an interesting shape, otherwise it would do nothing for the drawing. I ended up posing it in a way that I was trying to frame the character with the tail. I also wanted to give her these really big bell bottoms along with big hands and feet. I don't know why, but the idea of big hands and feet just felt like it fit a dragon character. When I got to the coloring, I found this gal a little harder to color just because she has so many bright neon colors, and I found I kept doing too much with the colors. I tried to mellow it out by making a large portion of her outfit white, with the jeans and bandana being a darker blue. Now here's where I'm going to add a few more of my thoughts on AI. I don't really have anything revolutionary to say. I think a lot of the redrawing videos I've seen out there have very similar opinions to mine, so I'm going to try not echo what I've already heard. I'll just say, anyone that's scared of AI, don't be. Companies have been trying to cut artists for as long as they've hired artists. We live in a capitalist world that vastly undervalues its creatives. I know I told you not to be scared and then I just said something terrifying, but trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. The point is, creatives will never die out. We will never be replaceable. As long as humans collectively agree to support fellow humans, to support projects backed by artists, to actively lift each other up, we'll be okay. Because in a capitalist world, consumers have all the power, and we are the consumers. If we refuse to support AI images and projects that have cut artists, they will lose. And vice versa. Support artist-run projects, and it will lift them up. We choose what is made in this world. So what you need to do is use your money, use your engagement to support real people. And if we all collectively do this, artists and viewers alike, we will be fine. And look, you're already doing it. By watching this far, you've already supported me, a human, real, living artist. So thank you. Truly, thank you for that. And with this, our final redesign is done. Here's our Y2K dragon girly in all of her glory. And once again, I absolutely love how she came out. Boop, boop, boop. And now we are at the end of our video. Thank you for joining me. I'm Blues, a real-life alleged human. Definitely not a robot. Here drawing real living art. Woo! If you'd like to see more art from me, please subscribe. I have a goal to reach 100 subscribers within my first year of YouTube, and I'd be so grateful if you help me reach that goal. Likewise, feel free to comment any art-related content you'd like to see from me next. Any engagement is appreciated. And just thank you for watching my video. That's all for now. Thank you one more time, and have a nice day. Yippee! Close the video now. Yay! Yippee!